Many clients ask, how much is a fusion surgery worth after a car crash or a trip and fall case? And what are the driving factors that determine value when dealing with back surgeries or spinal fusions? Well, a lot of the value really comes from the fact that it is a major surgery and it is major, lifelong, life-changing damage. And that's why fusion surgeries usually go for 1 million or more. In fact, we recently had a ceiling collapse with a fusion and it went for 1.8 million. And we had another one with in the Bronx with a truck accident with fusion surgeries, and that one went for $2.5 million. And there was another one in Queens with a construction accident fusion, and that one went for $3 million. So they usually go for pretty high amounts, and that's just our firm, right, giving you some recent cases. That if you look at the jury verdict reporter, you could see all the cases for all firms, and there are some outliers. There's some high ones. I recall seeing somebody in a conservative venue got a jury verdict of 10 million on a fusion, and others, of course, people think they're going to get a large amount, and unfortunately, sometimes the jury doesn't award it. Sometimes, like one case. Somebody was thinking they were going to get $1 million and they only got $20,000 on a fusion, which is very, very low, but it was a very conservative venue. So a lot of it depends on the jury. So it's very important to pick the right jury, to spend time with your client, to making sure that your client is properly prepared and they can make a good presentation to the jury, to the judge, and that you have all your evidence lined up. But usually the things that really make a difference are obviously the damages, the type of damages that you suffer, the nature of the fusion. Is it a cervical fusion? Is it a lumbar fusion? Is it a simple fusion? Or does it have something else, a component to it, such as bone grafting, or sometimes there has to be instrumentation, usually instrumentation put in. There could be other types of procedures like a corpectomy, which is a very serious procedure in conjunction with a fusion. So all of those nuances, of course, play a role. The other thing that plays a big role is liability. Because if you have a case, let's say, where you have somebody stopped at a red light and they get rear-ended by a truck, you could file a motion for summary judgment. Now you have liability as a matter of law. And the only question for that jury and that judge to look over procedurally is how much to allow for all of the pain and suffering and all of the future medical costs and the lost wages. So if you have the economic damages and you have the future medical costs and you have the pain and suffering, it could be a big amount, right? It could be 10 million or 5 million or a big amount. But if you have that same case, but you have a tough liability, what they could do then, the insurance companies, is they could say, you know what, go to trial on it. Because if you hit on liability, sometimes they bifurcate the case. You do liability first. They do that in Brooklyn and Queens. So if they say, if you hit on liability, if you win and you prove that we are liable, sure, then we're going to, possibly pay or start talking turkey. But if you want to, right, because I don't like this liability at all, your client was at fault. Your client had a red light, let's say, and we have a witness that your client had a red light. So now the fact that your client had a fusion, we'll just give you $75,000 or we'll give you $100,000. And if you want to take that, take it now. We're going to discount it substantially because of the liability. Now, if you can prove we were at fault, if you can cross-examine that witness to show they were a liar, if you have your own witness, if you can prove that we were at fault 90%, 100%, then once you have that jury verdict about liability, about fault, then we'll increase the damages. You see, so there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of factors that come into play. Some of the factors include the type of lawyer you hire, their experience, whether it's a trial lawyer or just a litigation lawyer or a pre-lit lawyer that doesn't know trials. Some of it has to do with the venue. Are you in the Bronx? Are you in Brooklyn? Are you in Westchester? That tends to be more conservative. And whether your client is likable. And the insurance companies, when they write their reports, they describe all of these things. They talk about, oh, this client is a likable person. We think a jury of his or her peers are going to like this person, or this person, he was arguing with the lawyer, he was very angry, and we think a jury won't like them and won't give them much money. So all of these things come into play. So it's an interesting type of work, but just so you understand all of the things that drive value and why, when you see cases. That's why one case goes for, like, say, $1 million and the other case goes for 100,000. Because one of the things that lawyers always make fun of, or they say, is, oh, my client called me just now and they said, are you going to get me $2 million? Because my friend Bob down the street said he had a car crash case and he got $2 million. So then why shouldn't I get $2 million? But you see, it doesn't work that way because each case is different. It depends on the exact injury that you had versus the injury Bob had. It depends where your case is venued and where Bob's case was venued. There's just so many factors. It's almost like saying, that person has a nice, hair or nice eyes, and why don't I? Every person is different, just like every case is different. So it's very important to remember that and to remember the driving factors. Then you could, as a client, do the right thing, do the right treatment, work together with your lawyer to prove the case, and then you're going to maximize and max out on the value and get as much as possible and win your case. Okay, have a great day, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.